An inquiry has been launched into the causes of the shooting last year that so shocked the close-knit community.
Parents of the victims are
campaigning calls for gun laws,
killing 12 students
for
and a
Kevin
teacher.
Cacciadorian.
It's important we understand this phenomena.
January 23rd, 2001. Dear Franklin, so now you know the truth. I threw our 6-year-old son across a room and broke his arm. It was bad. But was it bad enough to trigger something as momentous as Thursday? Was I responsible? I wake up with that question every morning, Franklin, and go to bed with it every night. It is a shabby substitute for a husband. At Nyack Hospital, Kevin supports his arm in newspaper. He doesn't cry.
I can see the doctor myself, Mama,
says Kevin. The doctor smiles, and to my horror, closes the door in my face. What is happening in there? What is Kevin saying? The victim hotline notice on the wall glares down at me. I'm left to fret for 3 hours until Kevin emerges from surgery. He has a blindingly white cast. The doctor's hand rests on his shoulder.
You have raised a very brave young man, Mrs. Cacciadorian.
And Kevin smiles at me. Our secret is safe. I owe him. I will owe him for a very long time. And I still have to run one more gauntlet. You, Franklin.
Kev! What the heck happened to you?
If you'd asked me, I swear I would have told you the truth. But you asked him.
I broke my arm,
says Kevin.
Well, so I see. How did that happen?
I had poopy pants. Mommy went to get more wipes and I fell off the changing table.
Oh, he was good.
Gosh.
The story was ready.
Well, I must have heard.
And most impressive of all, he did not allow himself one collusive glance at me.
Gonna let me sign your cast?
Sure, Dad.
And it's over. He takes himself off to the bathroom, and just like that, the diapers phase is finally over too. So why didn't he blab? Maybe he was storing ammunition. A secret becomes more explosive the longer it is kept. Or maybe he felt the cover-up, and even the assault itself, had brought us together. Eva. January 28th, 2001. Dear Franklin. Okay, let's talk about power. Received wisdom says, parents have it, children don't. We are like governments. We maintain our authority by threat of physical force. A kid does what we say, not to put too fine a point on it, because we can break his arm. But Kevin knew I could never lay a hand on him again.
Kevin, would you mind sitting down and
My
finishing
authority was compromised by apology.
Honey, would you please...
I became a simpering shadow of myself. You stepped through me as easily as moonlight. When you undressed at night, Franklin, I'd gaze at you with nostalgia. Watching you horsing around in the yard with Kevin, I'd press my hand against the window pane, touching the distance. I was lonely, jealous, and something had to change. So it did. One Sunday, Trent Corley's dad doorsteps us.
Trent could have been killed.
His son has had a serious accident. Someone tampered with his bicycle. Kevin is prime suspect. I want to know more, but Franklin, you showed Trent's dad the door.
Yes, jeez, Eva. A kid can't skin his knee anymore without being someone's fault. Accidents happen, like Kevin's arm.
Do you want me to ask Kevin about the bike?
Why? Can't see that he's done anything.
You never do.
You always do.
And something flips in my head, like the catch on Trent's bike.
Franklin, I want another child.
What?
I'd like to start trying right away.
I feel as self-possessed and certain as I sound.
You're serious? You're seriously serious? I can't believe it.
Why not?
Eva, isn't it obvious?
No, Franklin. Spell it out.
Okay. You don't like Kevin. You never have. First he cries too much. Then he's too quiet. He develops serious problem around toilet training, and you think he's doing it to spite you. I try to give him what you can't, Eva. There is no way I'm gonna let you freeze out another kid when this discussion is over. Hey, sport!
You bend to scoop Kevin into a Father's Day hug, but I get there first.
Kevin, I'm afraid your friend Trent has had an accident. Maybe you and I could make him a get well card?
Yeah, well, he thinks he's too cool on that bike.
I didn't say anything about a bicycle. Something had changed. My guilt about Kevin's arm ended abruptly. And I made a resolution. It took a year, but finally, I missed a period. I started to sing. I purled about my duties happily. Kevin noticed my transformation immediately.
You're fat.
That's right, Kevin. Mama's a big fat pig.
It took you about 3 months.
When were you gonna tell me?
Soon.
When it was too late? This wasn't an accident.
No.
We discussed this.
No.
You knew how
That's
I felt,
exactly
but you went
what we
ahead
didn't
and
do.
mugged me as if it had nothing to do with me. Why?
I had to find something out. About my soul.
Hello? Is there anyone else in your universe?
I'd like there to be.
You can't cement a shaky marriage with a baby, Eva.
Is our marriage shaky?
You just shook it. Oh, Eva. Eva.
When I feel your arms around me, it is such a relief. I cry even harder. My second pregnancy was easy. You were pretending it wasn't happening, so I was able to do it my own way. Celia was definitely my baby. I even chose her name. Telling Kevin went more smoothly than I hoped. He listened silently while breaking all the crayons in a box, one by one. His only comment was, "You'll be sorry." As for the birth itself, okay, I knew enough to opt for anesthesia this time, but there was more to it than that. From 0 hour, Kevin's emotional tone had been the red pitch of a rape alarm. Celia's tone was pale blue, and she burbled. Her hands did not grasp, they explored. She took my breast with gratitude. She wanted to be born, wanted to live. She called me her friend. Franklin, I could have handled everything. Thursday, the trials, even our separation, if only I had been allowed to keep Celia. Nevertheless, I'd like to imagine you two together, finally getting to know one another. That's not a criticism. I know she was too much of a girl for you. She was so full of terrors. Of the dark, the vacuum cleaner, dry dirt, food with lumps. But the one thing she might have justifiably feared, she adored. Celia never told tales. But when I found her bound and gagged with duct tape, well, I figured she hadn't been playing kidnap alone. When I discovered her strapped to her booster chair, covered in vomit, I could reasonably assume that the bowl of jam, curry paste, Vaseline, and lumps of balled-up bread wasn't her own recipe. She fell for it again and again because she was good-hearted. She never lost her faith that deep down her brother was a nice guy. During Celia's early years, Kevin receded for me. Understandably. With me, Kevin was sour, secretive, and sarcastic. his real persona. But as soon as you walk in, he puts on that smile.
Hey, Dad!
Kev, check this out.
You show him a magazine with a toothpaste ad you'd shot.
Gee, Dad.
In our very own home.
Our bathroom's in the paper. Does that make us famous?
Well, maybe a little.
You'd be really famous in this country, Kevin. You have to kill somebody.
Oh, honey.
I was angry with Kevin for snowing you. And with you for buying it. But it's no excuse. I really did say that. Didn't I? Eva. February 3rd, 2001. Dear Franklin, when I saw Kevin today, his lip was swollen, his knuckles scabbed. When I ask if he's all right, he says,
Cut myself shaving.
I drop any further preliminaries.
Okay, Kevin. About Thursday. It wasn't some indiscriminate frenzy. Like that Hawaiian kid who just flipped.
Brian Usugi? He kept fish.
My point is,
2,000 fish.
it didn't matter to him who he shot.
Guy was a member of the Hawaiian Carp Association. Maybe he thought he was supposed to complain.
But your get-together in the gym was by invitation only.
So? Michael McDermott only shot accountants.
I don't want to talk about Michael McDermott, Kevin.
He was
I
fat.
want to talk about you and your victims. Why Dana Rocco and not another teacher? Why those particular kids?
I didn't like them.
You didn't like anyone.
True.
So why Denny Corbett, for example?
Right. The ham. See him in Streetcar? I could do a better southern accent underwater.
What about your accent? Whose is that? Some guy in here? And that swagger? Stolen from Brad Pitt?
Hey, I'm not playing a part. I am the part.
So he'd heard. A movie was already in development.
Brad Pitt should play me.
Brad Pitt wouldn't play some pipsqueak sophomore.
As long as it isn't DiCaprio. He's a jerk.
So you killed Denny Corbett because he was a lousy actor. Fair enough. What about Laura Wolford?
Who?
He holds my eye. He knows her all right.
Saved by the Bell. Looks like we'll have to continue next time, Kevin.
I'll look forward to it.
Strangely, so will I. I need to understand why he chose his victims, Franklin. I need him to tell me. Next time, Eva.